This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
The clerk replied at last that he would give him what he had, a small top-floor room, if that would do. It would, the other said, and when the register was given its practiced half-circle twirl, he signed without delay. The desk clerk turned it back again, still maintaining the accustomed condescending air he was about to lose in shock, when he read what the weathered applicant had written. U.S. Grant and Son, Galena, Illinois. Whereupon, for such was the aura that had gathered about the name Unconditional Surrender Grant, hero of Donelson, conqueror of Vicksburg, deliverer of Chattanooga, there was an abrupt transformation, not only in the attitude of the clerk, whose eyes seemed to start from his head at the sight of the signature, and who struck the bell with a force that brought on the double all the bellboys within earshot, but also in that of the idlers, the loungers round about the lobby, who soon learned the cause of the commotion in the vicinity of the desk. It was as if the prayers of the curious had been answered after the flesh. Here before them, in the person of this undistinguished-looking officer, 41 years of age, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and weighing just under 140 pounds in his scuffed boots and shabby clothes, was the man who, in the course of the past 25 months of a war in which the news had mostly been unwelcome from the federal point of view, had captured 2 rebel armies entire, and chased a third clean out of sight beyond the roll of the southern horizon. Now that he made a second visual assessment, more deliberate and, above all, more informed than the first, the bystander who formerly had seen only an ordinary, scrubby-looking man with a slightly seedy look, perceived that there was more to him than had been apparent before the authentication that came with the fixing of the name. The blue eye became a clear blue eye, and the once stolid-seeming face took on a look of resolution, as if he could not be trifled with. Such, then, was the effect of the gathered aura. And yet there was a good deal more to it than fame, past or present. There was also anticipation, and of a particular national form. Just last week, on Leap Year Day, the President had signed a congressional act reviving the grade of Lieutenant General, and Grant had been summoned east to receive in person his promotion, together with command of all the armies of the Union, which he was expected to lead at last to final victory over the forces that had threatened its destruction. Forgotten now was the small top-floor room his modesty had been willing to accept. Instead, the clerk obsequiously tendered the distinguished guest the best in the house, meaning Parlor 6, where Abraham Lincoln himself had held court in the days preceding his inauguration, less than 1 week, more than 3 years ago today. Grant accepted this as he had the other, with neither eagerness nor protest, which caused a second witness to remark upon his shy but manly bearing. Still another even saw virtue in the dead-level way he wore his hat. He neither puts it on behind his ears nor draws it over his eyes, much less does he cock it on one side, but sets it straight and very hard on his head. A fourth believed he detected something else beneath the general's rough dignity of surface. He habitually wears an expression as if he had determined to drive his head through a brick wall and was about to do it. Just now, though, here in the close atmosphere of the lobby of Willard's, which a disgruntled Englishman complained was compounded in about equal parts of heat, noise, dust, smoke, and expectoration, what he mainly seemed to desire was an absence of fanfare. But that was not to be. For a week now the town talk had been of his imminent arrival, and now that the talkers had him within actual reach, they intended to make the most of him. Returning downstairs presently for dinner in the main dining-room and holding his son Fred by the hand as if for mutual reassurance, he managed to get as far as his table and even to order the meal before he was recognized by a gentleman from New Orleans who came over for a handshake. Then, as before, all hope of privacy ended. Word of his presence spread from table to table, according to one who was there. People got up and craned their necks in an anxious endeavor to see the coming man.